All right, guys, good morning. Good morning. Welcome aboard to the Morning Note. My name is Carlos Garcia, founder and CEO of G.A.R Capital. Hope everyone's having a nice morning this morning. It is 9:01 Eastern Standard Time on a Friday, April 22nd, 2022. All right, let's go ahead and talk about the markets. First thing, I went ahead and actually posted the video. So if you haven't turned on notifications, you didn't get the exact time I sent it out. It's not really time sensitive. It's just more of the options bootcamp, kind of going over the things I talk about on a daily basis. So at least you can follow along and know what we're talking about and kind of how we see things. So again, moving averages are there, Fibonacci levels are there, some stocks that are really are better to trade in terms of options and why futures are important, the VIX, 10-year yields, all that stuff, why I look at the things I look at. All right then, so take a look at that. That's the video that we just posted. If you do like it, make sure to hit that like button, thumbs up, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next one. If you guys really like it and we have a lot of views and likes, I think I'll just probably do more videos per week, including the weekly, the daily videos. Kind of like, in a sense, kind of give some trader tips, maybe go over some charts, maybe some stocks I'm watching. I've been using TikTok a little more, so getting used to it, but Twitter is probably the best way in order to get like live news and information as we go along. Futures this morning, Dow down 114, Nasdaq down 4 points, pretty much flat. S&P futures down 0.24%. 10-year yields are up 3 basis points at 29.20, 2.920. The dollar index continues to go higher. We talked about that yesterday after the bell. The VIX is up 2.5% as well. I'm watching that very carefully at 23.26. Russell 2000 futures up 0.31%. Crude oil down 1.44%. Crude is looking at a weekly loss this week. Gasoline futures $3.30, down 1.15%. Gold futures are looking to be red for the week as well, 1936. If you remember, we were knocking on the door of 2000, and here we are. Silver futures down 1.5%, 24.24 an ounce, 108.22 for the euro dollar, marginally lower. 128.45 for the dollar yen, pretty much no movement there. 40,375 for Bitcoin futures, that is down 2%. Ethereum right below 3,000 at 29.99, down 0.83%. All right, some news this morning. Let's see here. Some news that did come out this morning. American Express reported earnings this morning. Verizon, some of the notable names, Schlumberger as well. American Express did beat on revenue, 11.74 billion versus 11.63 billion. Adjusted EPS did beat $2.73 versus $2.39. Full year EPS $9.25 to $9.65. Estimate of $9.72. Reaffirms year revenue EPS view. So again, reaffirming their guidance. That's something I like to see from these companies. No word in terms of share buybacks or maybe raising a dividend. Nothing like that. So again, pretty much a standard report from a financial company. They seem pretty healthy. EPS growth is there, so that's good. What I own American Express, I actually use American Express, but that is interesting that I don't own it. And that's one thing as an investor, I always like to buy companies and stock that I do a lot of business with. For example, I really love some Starbucks. Like, that's my thing. I love Starbucks, kind of like my little luxury thing where I get this passion fruit tea. It's really, really good. Or the strawberry acai. I recommend everyone try it at least once. It's really good. But again, I'm all about Starbucks life. I love it. So again, why not own shares in a company that you do a lot of business with? Nike, again, you see behind me, I'm a big sneaker guy. I love sneakers. I'm not a collector. I actually wear all my sneakers. But again, owning Nike shares should be a no-brainer if you're that kind of person. So, also take a look at your spouse, things that they're into. Let's say if you have a wife that's really into makeup, Ulta, Sephora, which is owned by Louis Vuitton, Moet Hennessy. Again, great companies to own over the long term. Again, these guys make money. The world is more than just tech companies, guys. There's a lot of great companies out there making money, and there are no signs of a recession there. We talked about airlines as well, coming back up. Again, I've been kind of pounding the table there. But again, I do think tech bounces back. We'll get to the charts here in a second. We'll go over the Verizon numbers. Verizon, I got a lot of questions regarding AT&T lately, and people have asked me in the investment club, do I like AT&T as an investment? AT&T just has a really big debt load. Obviously, they offloaded Time Warner, of course, which is okay. I'm happy to see that. They're kind of focused now into that wireless telecoms, which is kind of what I think was best anyways. So again, I'm going to wait to see if AT&T kind of does a little bit of a turnaround before I put some money into it. There is a gap to fill at 23.66. I remember owning this name for a while, way back when it was in the 45 range. So I did sell that that AT&T shares. It was just falling in value, and the dividend just kept going to the point of just creeping to the point that it was just didn't make any sense. When it started getting to 9-8%, that's just too much for a dividend for a company like this. And AT&T does have a lot of cash. Not to say that they're broke or anything, but I think Verizon, in terms of balance sheet, in terms of management, in terms of cash burn and what they use their money for and who's a little more friendly to shareholders, I think Verizon is hands down better than AT&T. I'd rather put my money in Verizon. I think Verizon's a great dividend company, dividend payer. So again, that's a great company to own. They did beat on their revenue, $33.6 billion. I don't own Verizon anymore. Just a heads up. Adjusted EPS did meet $1.35. Fiscal year adjusted EPS low end of $5.40 to $5.55. Expectation was $5.43. The stock is up after hours from a pretty good quarter. Actually, it is down. Actually, the quarter was actually pretty decent, but the stock is down about $2. So that's pretty much what stands out in terms of pre-market stocks and earnings. We'll have more next week. I'll post that information on Instagram as always and Twitter. Let's take a look at the VIX. The VIX here, again, really what you're looking at is this trend line. So again, let's kind of blow it up to the 4 hour, kind of gives us a better view. So again, I just went from the last peak here, and you can continue this up here. Again, a downtrend. Again, we tested it around 20. Now we broke above it. Again, we may be hitting some short-term resistance around 24.50. Let's see if we get there. In terms of Nasdaq, I tried to catch that bounce off that support of 337.51. I had to close it out, which kind of sucked. I thought we were going to get that bounce. But looking at the Qs, let's go to the hourly. Hourly, again, get above 337.51. Again, it would get possibly interesting to get back into a new range. But for now on Qs, you have to go by the next Fibonacci level down, which is 337.54 being your resistance, 51. I put my alert there to all the way down to 318 as support. So could we retest 318.13? We could, but I don't think that's likely. Again, I'm still playing with the seasonality of the S&P does bounce post-tax day. Now, here's the next thing that we need to take a look at. This is 10-year yields. Yields are so important because higher yields, it's not even about the yields itself, it's about how quickly they move. Again, so 3%, again, round number 3%, which is 30 on the TNX, could be resistance. There is a gap to fill at 29.88, so we may just fill that, and then we may reject. If not, we're going to go hit multi-year highs. I'm talking about 5-year, 10-year highs of 3.251, or not 10-year, probably like 5-year. This is a 2-year chart, my apologies. This is a 3-year chart, excuse me. So if I zoom this out even more, 3.247 or 32.47 on TNX, if we get there, which is a huge resistance point, would be the highest that we've had since 2017. So again, we are still in a downtrend in terms of yields, but again, this spike is really what's holding back the Nasdaq itself. Earnings have been decent, obviously great. Look at Tesla. Netflix, not so much, but they had a bad quarter last one as well. So again, we got to see the meat and potatoes. We got to see the big caps, the Microsofts, the Apples of the world, the Amazons, Googles, and see how they are faring up and see if it holds up on the S&P while boosting the Nasdaq as well. Looking at S&P futures, I do have a, a support level of 43.55. We did play puts yesterday. 43.71 is your support currently. Let's see if we hold that there. I may be looking for a slight bounce, maybe get to 4,400. Maybe that'll get us at the end of the week. All this that we've seen, guys, we're just round tripped from Monday's levels. That's all we did. Remember, Sunday we had that drop. Monday's pretty much where we are, guys. So again, all this was just noise. So if you're just an investor, you pretty much just thought, oh, pretty much a flat week in the S&P. But if you're a trader, you caught some opportunities there, right in between on that move to the upside, and then kind of retesting back to the low end of around 43.71-ish. So basically, that's all we were. With the Sunday drop that we had on Friday, obviously we're lower than we were from last Friday. But again, you can see Monday pretty much is showing us, again, in a weird way, this could be a head and shoulders in a way, really kind of messed up head. But I don't consider this a head and shoulders at all, actually. But again, looks like just a retest. Let's answer some questions. Good morning. Hey, thanks, John. He says, thank you for the boot camp. I hope it really helped. I try not to stretch it too long. Again, I could drone on and on and on about the market, guys, for hours. I think that's not something you want to see every day. I try to keep things as short and compressed as possible. A, to keep your attention from falling asleep, and B, I remember college and how boring those lectures were. So I don't want to be lectured to. The way I do it is I would want to speak the way I would want to be taught. So again, a lot of analogies, a lot of illustrations, a lot of explanation deeply, and trying to simplify things. I think that's the best way to teach, is to get someone's interest in something and kind of put that together. When I used to teach masterclass, I would always ask my students what were their interest in. And they were into cars, into sports, into watches, whatever, and kind of create an analogy in terms of the market, because you can kind of compare different things. Just got to find that niche, that exact thing that keeps that person interested. And again, stocks are pretty boring. Financial information, economics are very boring. So again, if you can find a way to connect your interests into learning something new, it's great. And you'll always have it in the back of your head, because it's that analogies come together. Let's see, calls on SPY, please. Looking at SPY, I mean, I don't know if I do calls here. You do have to kind of stay above this 437.07 level. I don't see any reason to go long here unless we start getting above this 100 here of 441.83. So I expect a little more of a choppier day. I think we kind of stay within this range, maybe bounce a little bit. I wouldn't be surprised if we get to 4,400 and probably just hover there for the day. I don't see a lot of expectation of market action. We do have some PMIs later today, manufacturing PMIs. Thoughts on adding coin at this level? I do own some crypto, obviously everyone knows, and I do own some Coinbase. Would I add here? No, I mean, just for the fact that we could get a little lower. Maybe we can get, remember, we're at lows now. So again, you kind of have to figure out what level is going to work for you, because 137.32 is pretty much, now we're going to be at 136, which is basically an all-time low from their IPO. So again, I like Coinbase long-term. I own shares in Coinbase. They have NFTs. We know with the Nasdaq coming down, coin is going to go down as well. It's the high flyer growth names. In order to want to buy this, I'm going to have to be honest with you. I actually want to wait for a boost. A lot of people are like, really, wait for a boost? Yeah, let's see if it breaks above the 200-day on the weekly, which is right around $200. If we can get above $200, again, you're waiting for your time. You're waiting to see if you get that boost. Maybe you get some buyers in, gain some value, instead of trying to time a falling knife, because you don't know how far down it could go. Levels to add on Facebook and AMD. Facebook, I'm going to wait for earnings. They do have earnings coming up pretty soon, so I'm just going to wait on that. So I put 180 as an alert, but that's probably for a put. For AMD, they also report earnings as well. I will possibly be buying earnings ahead of that. Really, your next support level is right around 85 or so, 84.95. But I think this is going to be like another one like, excuse me, another one like Facebook, where you do want to see the earnings. Let's see what Lisa Su says. She's very shareholder friendly. I expect AMD to bounce as well. Let's see. Tesla calls for Friday. No, that's pretty ballsy. Tesla was up pre-market. It is not up anymore. Would I touch a Tesla today? Gun to my head, lotto, and someone said, you're going to have to trade this. Break 1040, maybe, but I wouldn't risk capital on it, no. Do you think we see a bounce for Apple for today? Well, that depends. Apple had actually a nice day yesterday relative to the market. It's staying pretty much at support, really similar to the S&P. You can see that kind of flush here, same deal. So again, if you see the S&P rise, more likely Apple will pretty much lead the charge. 166.65.53 is your support. It's pretty much just holding around that level. If it breaks down below the lows of 165.51, more than likely you're going to talk about going to 162.65. So again, it's still kind of a rangy level, not much to do, but there is an opportunity at 165.51. If that does break, you can target the lows, maybe the 163 puts. So I think puts would probably be best, because we're right at that support, other than an actual bounce back. All right, guys, we'll go and leave it there. Have a great rest of your morning. We'll go ahead and just skip today's day in terms of the aftermarket recap. No one really gets on a Friday. I know you guys want to get out and do your thing. So I'll catch you guys on Monday for the morning note. Enjoy the options bootcamp. I hope you guys really learned something from it. And we'll catch you guys on Monday for the morning note. Cheers.